Let's talk about Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. Right now, the Cleveland Browns are struggling. They're 1-2 on the season. And Deshaun Watson, man, things are tough. Things are tough right now. Deshaun Watson is not their biggest problem. Their offensive line is. But when you look at Deshaun Watson and his numbers since they made the trade to go get him from the Houston Texans, this is not the franchise quarterback that they were hoping that they were getting. Now, I'll talk more about that in the next couple of minutes. I want to talk about Kevin Stefanski first. Your quarterback got sacked 8 times against the New York Giants. Shout out to the Giants defense, by the way. He gets sacked 8 times, and you don't call a screenplay into the fourth quarter to take off pressure? Deshaun Watson is getting blitzed to hell with no options in front of him. And you're like, Deshaun, go out there and make a play. When you look at Deshaun Watson's numbers this season, it's pretty alarming. And I'm not talking about the passing numbers. I'm not talking about the interception numbers. I'm talking about the sack numbers. He got sacked 8 times against the New York Giants. He only got sacked twice against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but pressure was in his face for a majority of the game. And he got sacked 6 times against the Dallas Cowboys. It's the pass attempts. He passed the ball for 37 times against the New York Giants. He passed the football 34 times against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He passed the football for 45 times. Let me say it again, 45 times against the Dallas Cowboys in week 1. And he has yet to throw for over 200 yards this season. 196 passing yards against the New York Giants. 186 passing yards against the Jacksonville Jaguars. 169 passing yards against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, let's start off with Kevin Stefanski before I get into Deshaun Watson. You have to find a way to run the football more and scheme up better plays. I understand the offensive line is horrible from tackle to tackle. Jedrick Wills Jr. can't block anyone. I fully understand that. I understand that Jack Conklin is out dealing with an injury right now, and it may take time for them to get into a groove with their offensive line. But Wyatt Teller, he's going to miss time as well. He's going to miss the next 4 games or so dealing with a leg injury. They don't have a consistent run game or allegiance to a run game when Nick Chubb is out of the lineup. And that's a nasty thing with Kevin Stefanski to have. He has zero faith in the run when Nick Chubb is not around. Jerome Ford, he's no Nick Chubb, but he's a solid running back to have. Give him the football more. Run the football with him. Take pressure off of Deshaun Watson. Call more screen passes to get the pressure off of Deshaun Watson. You're not going to win many football games this year if Deshaun Watson's throwing the football for over 35 times in a game. It is not going to happen. And I like Deshaun Watson still. I think that he can be a competent quarterback if you fix the offensive line. You have good weapons around him with Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku. Right now, he is out dealing with an injury. He got injured against the Dallas Cowboys. But Deshaun Watson can still be decent at best. And I know Browns fans don't want to hear that because they're paying him like a franchise quarterback, but he's missed so much time. He missed out that last season with the Houston Texans. He set that season out. The year before that, he had 33 passing touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Then the year after he set out the entire year, he gets suspended for 12 games. Then when he finally got into the flow of everything, full offseason, full training camp, full OTAs, he hurts his shoulder against the Baltimore Ravens, and he misses more time. So he hasn't played much football, which goes right into my argument. Why is he throwing the football this many times? He did not play in the preseason. He was still recovering from the shoulder injury. Kevin Stefanski is trying to treat him like how he was in 2018 and 2019. That Deshaun Watson no longer exists. And the league is no longer the same. The Deshaun Watson that was in the conversation of being a top 3 to top 5 quarterback, he no longer exists right now. He shows you very good moments here and there, but it's not consistent enough because he hasn't played much football. And Kevin Stefanski is trying to treat him like he is a rock star quarterback. He's not. It's the reason why the Browns front office went out there and they made trades to get Jerry Jeudy and to get Amari Cooper and to get Elijah Moore because they can kill you in different ways. Amari Cooper is a very good deep threat, amazing route runner. Jerry Jeudy, explosive deep threat. He's a guy that's a very good route runner, intermediate routes. And Elijah Moore can eat you up underneath. You have David Njoku as well, who is just a game record at tight end. Let those guys do the work for Deshaun Watson. Stop having Deshaun Watson on play action bootlegs and rollouts because teams are not falling for the play action because you don't run the football enough. You're only going to give Jerome Ford 10 carries anyway or 15 carries, so it doesn't matter. Hopefully when Nick Chubb comes back into the game, they have more of allegiance to the run game. They're more consistent with their run game. And it's not a guarantee that Nick Chubb is going to be a superstar running back when he comes back. Nick Chubb has suffered 2 brutal knee injuries, one in college and one last season against the Steelers on the Monday Night Football game. And I will say this, Kevin Stefanski did a great job coaching last season. Don't get it mistaken. I think Kevin Stefanski is still a very good head coach. He just needs to give up that playbook right now. It's not working in his favor. Look at what he was able to do last year and the degree of difficulty. Your offensive line was decimated. Jack Conklin got injured. Jedrick Wills got injured as well. Jedrick Wills Jr., at this point, his body's made of glass, but he got injured as well. So you have DeJuan Jones out there, James Hudson as well. Both of those guys had to be starting tackles in the middle of the season. You had to call in Joe Flacco after P.J. Walker didn't work, after DTR didn't work either. You call in Flacco, he gets you into the NFL playoffs because the play calling was better. You ran the football with Jerome Ford. You ran the football with Kareem Hunt. You let David Njoku go out there and be a madman like how he is. And I understand they're missing him right now. But this offense is in shambles. Yes, the offensive line is terrible. Deshaun Watson doesn't look the same. He does look washed. But you look at Kevin Stefanski. He's not helping matters. He's hurting them. He is killing them with his play calling. The New York Giants had a field day. He got out-coached for 3 straight quarters by the New York Giants coaching staff. And he let it happen. It just makes zero sense. And their defense is not the same either. This was one of the best defenses in the NFL last season. And I understand Myles Garrett is dealing with a foot injury right now. He shouldn't have played against the New York Giants, but he really wanted to. Part of the reason why their defense is not the same, Jim Schwartz is running the same plays that he ran last year on the defensive side, and teams have caught up to him. But at the same time, there's only so much your defense can do when you're going 3 and out. There's only so much your defense can do when you're having costly turnovers and you're giving them short fields. Their secondary is still good. I like Denzel Ward. I like Martin Emerson Jr. They're very good football players. I also like Greg Newsome as well. Their cornerbacks are very good. You have a very good pass rush with Zadarius Smith and one of the best pass rushers in the NFL in Myles Garrett. And I love me some Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I will never forget the game that he had against the San Francisco 49ers last year when he was covering Christian McCaffrey in space before he got injured. He was doing a great job on George Kittle. He's a very good linebacker. But your defense is gassed. They're tired. You're losing time possession because of the turnovers. And the reason why you're getting those turnovers is because the offensive line can't protect Deshaun Watson. He's a sitting duck. So you're dealing with a quarterback that has not played much football over the last 3 to 4 years. You're dealing with a bad offensive line. Even if they were fully healthy, they still wouldn't be consistent because Jedrick Wills Jr. is just terrible at the left tackle position. And they're beat up, and you're dealing with a play caller that wants to treat Deshaun Watson like he's Patrick Mahomes or like he's Josh Allen. It makes zero sense. They need Nick Chubb in the worst way. And they need to have a physical running approach. We're only 3 weeks into this thing. They can turn things around because of the talent that they have. But right now, it's not pretty. What happened against the New York Giants, what happened against the Dallas Cowboys, that's a reoccurring thing. This is also more scary as well, if you really think about it. This team has won 3 straight games without scoring over 20 points. 3. You lost to the New York Giants 21-15. You lost to the Dallas Cowboys 33-17. You beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 18-13. Your defense will go out there if you're not turning the football over and they're fully rejuvenated and they have full energy. They'll go out there and they can still be a good unit. But it's the offense. If they can't go out there and they can't figure things out with Deshaun Watson, they may move on from Kevin Stefanski. You're not going to move on from Deshaun Watson. That dead cap space hit will cripple this team. And they're hampered by that contract anyway. They've reworked the contract. They've taken clauses out of the contract. If he gets suspended again, they can move on from him. I doubt that he will get suspended again. They gave him a 12-game suspension a year ago. It's not going to happen. I think that Deshaun Watson is a quarterback. He is who he is now. I think that he can go out there. He can look good for a couple games here and there, but he needs a supporting cast around him, just like every other quarterback in the NFL. He's not that Superman anymore. That guy that played with the Houston Texans and had 33 passing touchdowns and 7 interceptions, he no longer exists. And that was on a terrible Houston Texans team. Deshaun Watson can be very good in this league with the right coach and the right offensive line. But the Cleveland Browns fan base don't want to hear that. And the front office doesn't want to hear it either because they paid him so much, and it's because of what they gave up to get him. and they have yet to see a return on that investment. It is unfair because the last time we saw him fully healthy in a game from last season was against the Baltimore Ravens. In the second half, he looked like that superstar. Then he got injured yet again. I think the injuries have taken a toll on Deshaun Watson, and just the time away has also taken a toll on Deshaun Watson as well. He doesn't look like the same quarterback anymore. Even when he tries to push the football down the field, he's not the same guy. And without a consistent run game and without decent offensive line protection, they're not going to win many football games this year. You're going to have a lot of games like how you had against the Giants and against the Dallas Cowboys as well. It's just sad to see what the Cleveland Browns are right now. This team went on a magical run last season. Yes, it fizzled out against the Houston Texans in the NFL playoffs, but they were still able to go out there and just have fun. It's not fun right now. It's terrible to watch. Kevin Stefanski needs to give up play calling duties. I don't think that he deserves to be fired. I still think that he can be a solid head coach moving forward, but he needs to give up the playbook or be more consistent with the run game. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson, and can they turn things around? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.